What is going on, guys? It's your boy BG, and welcome to the Unknown Minds podcast, where the unknown mind isn't so known. And before we even really get started with everything, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and if you're listening to this on any other podcasts and platforms, make sure you 5-star and leave a rating down below. Let me know in the reviews. As you know, this will be my last episode of season 1 of this podcast, and I just want to dedicate this podcast to many people who tapped in, listening, and whatnot. And I just want to thank a lot of you guys. I'm not really going to hold you guys up on this episode really too long, but I just want to thank a lot of you that's stuck with me through thick and through thin with these episodes. Just been keeping up with it, just been listening, just been tapping in. And this is where the season 1 kind of comes to an end. I guess I did a lot of self-reflecting over the weekend and did pretty much the latest episode. And I think it's about time we're going to cut this short. And in the meantime, while I'll be on hiatus, pretty much on the episodes, I'll still be posting content, refurbishing episodes and whatnot on the actual podcast page. And throughout the break, which probably I haven't really made up a specific date, I'm thinking of in March. I'll be back in March to post up more content. And throughout that, that break of making podcasts, I'll still be cooking up some future episodes. So when we come back, we'll have everything lined up. I have episodes lined up for you guys, and just make sure we know we stay consistent at what we're doing. I thank all the people who've been featured on the podcast, who took their time and hopped on the podcast. It's just about several people that slid on the podcast and kind of like been a part of the whole entire journey. But it's about time for me to kind of like zoom out a little bit, zoom out, start just digesting this information that I've been reading and learning from other people. And actually, not saying I haven't been applying it, but it's actually time for me to really digest it. It's like I know, but I don't know. So it's about time for me to really digest some of the information. And that's pretty much a short and sweet episode. I guess I can't really go too deep into it, but just know I feel as though this is kind of like the best for me. I'm doing what's best for me thus far at this point. Now it's more so like, I guess not saying detaching myself from stress, but it helped me to focus on other things too in the process. So, to those who haven't really listened to podcasts, you got 50-something to go through. And as you tend to listen, the podcasts tend to get more better and better and more in depth. And while I'm going on this break, I'm also going to be figuring out ways how to expand and do some things differently on the podcast and make it more appealing. Not saying that the podcast isn't appealing, but to just, see the flaws in the podcast. Of course, this podcast isn't perfect, but to see the flaws, to see some of the things that need to be improved on. Of course, the YouTube is growing kind of slow, but definitely I've been checking the analytics on the Apple Podcasts and other platforms. But like I said, it's time for me to a little bit zoom out. It's time for me to look at the bigger picture. Not saying I haven't, but, it's time for a break. I'm not technically taking a break, but I am taking a break. I'm taking a break from posting like new episodes, but not posting content. So, I'm very grateful of people who've been tapping in. I'm very grateful for people who've really been, just really been listening, tapping in, telling me I've really been doing good on most of my episodes. And like I said, this is where some things come to an end. And next season, the season 2 of this podcast will be, I can guarantee it will be 100 times better. It will be more open, more efficient, very much more detailed things to be upgraded on. And then everything that I'm doing on this podcast is always for improvement purposes. Ending season 1 right here. I was planning on doing it at episode 60. But like I said, some signs that have just told me, you know what, maybe right now, the way the last episode ended, maybe this right here should be the official ending of season 1. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. And as I say at every end of every podcast episode, man, faith plus great work ethic creates multiple opportunity. Once again, faith plus great work ethic creates multiple opportunity. And I will catch you guys in the next season of the Unknown Minds podcast. Wait. And before we actually chop it up, I haven't really mentioned throughout the episode that I was once named the Common Sense podcast, which I realized that a lot of people had the same name, so I had to kind of tweak it during mid-season. So if you go through my podcast, I might say Common Sense Podcast or Common Sense, whatever the case may be, you might hear that name. That is the reason why you hear that name, because it was once called that. So now we just made a drastic change, maybe around 30 episodes or something like that. That's the reason why it was called the Unknown Minds Podcast. Worldwide, it's called the Unknown Minds Podcast now. So, yeah. I mean, I'll catch you guys probably within a month and some change. Not probably. Y'all guys will catch me within a month and some change. And we're going to get everything started. My bad I'm yawning because it is 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 a.m. recording on a Monday for sure. So, anyways, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this, any of the streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever the case may be, make sure you leave a review and write a review. Faith plus great work ethic creates wonderful opportunity. Once again, faith plus great work ethic creates wonderful opportunity. And I will catch you guys in the next season of the Unknown Minds Podcast. See ya.